Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you were able to get out in nature, and Starlight did. It was a little cold out today, but that is okay. I made it. And then after that, a blizzard in our area, like for so many minutes, bam, out of nowhere. So Starlight made it through that too. It just like totally whitened up the whole area where it was hard for drivers to even see where they were going. That's how bad it hit in this area. But anyway, I just want to reach out to all of you and see how you are doing. I hope you are able to get out in nature and enjoy the weather. And lately there hasn't been a lot of sun in my area. We've been having a lot of rainy days off and on throughout this time. But it's been very warm in my area. I mean, the one day it was almost 50 in my area. That's just unheard of in New York area in the United States. So I don't know what kind of weather you have where you live, but this is the type of weather I am getting right now. And throughout this week, I believe it's going to be like in the 30s or 40s. So anyway, besides getting out in nature, make sure you're taking time out for yourself. It is so important to do that. I know you have a busy life. Starlight knows, believe me. I am busy from the moment I wake up until the moment I go to sleep. So I do understand how that can happen to you. And, but you still got to find some time to take out for yourself and get alone with yourself, absolutely alone somehow. And I know some of you might have kids, you might have a big family, like a husband and wife and some kids, or depending on what age you are, you might be living with your mom or dad, but you still got to get some time, alone time. So anyway, I do love you. If you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman, Starlight. And don't forget, you can leave a message down below, beep, 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 and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you could follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. And before I get going don't forget to check out my playlist. There's a lot of different titles and topics, so depending on what you're looking for, I have some videos for how to be a good parent, things that I learned throughout being a parent myself. And I do have, I am a Christian. I went to church, and really I went through some training, when I went to church on how to be a good parent, plus how to be a great wife. So anyway, and you can check that playlist out. And don't forget the notification bell, which, hang on, I'm thinking maybe I might actually have it with me this time. I don't know. I don't have it with me. It's in my other bag. So anyway, don't forget the notification bell anyway. That way you don't miss any videos. And here we go with a new topic, and I already made this video, but I'm going to remake it. Instead of editing things out that I put in there, I'm going to reword things the way I said it in the first video. So anyway, here we go. I noticed this a long time ago, like my, around 2012, when, sorry, I got an itch. I wasn't really knowing what I was looking for, but I went on a dating app, and I was on it for years, mainly on the same dating app, and it was pretty sad. I really had a hard time finding a man that really wanted a relationship. So, and I don't know about you females on how that goes, because of course I'm not on a dating app looking for girls, but I only can speak as far as myself, as far as relationship goes. Absolutely, I definitely prefer being in a relationship than being single. What about you? Where I believe a lot of us really would desire to be in a relationship, but some of you might struggle with the whole topic about relationships. Are you, the title of this is, are you tired of searching for someone, to be in a relationship with? Are you wanting to give up on relationships altogether? Maybe you realize, oh my, every time you get in a relationship, it just is one disaster after another, or some horrible, now it goes both ways with men or women, is where a lot of couples go through abuse, some kind of a form of abuse, and not just women get abused in relationships. There are some nasty women out there that will beat the heck out of you, so you better watch. I'm not one of those, but, I've witnessed these things throughout my life. And, of course, you do have men out there that would do the same thing easily to a female. But you better watch out, guys. There's some women out there that will fight you. They won't put up with that stuff. So be careful of the ones that you do try to abuse as physically or verbally, because you could get a surprise. So anyway, in size, you can't really judge a person by their size as far as what they can do as far as defending themselves. So just because somebody looks small, they just like dynamite, sometimes they come in little small packages, but what a big bang they have. So size, you don't want to just measure a person on their size. And normally that's why Starlight normally won't ever date a guy that's too huge, because I'm like, wow, how am I going to ever beat him up if I need to? So Starlight's normally always picked out guys near her size, because I'm thinking, but we shouldn't really think that way, should we? Hey, I got to see if I can kick his ass in order to, decide if I want to go with him or not. We should not have to think that way. But in this society, the way things are with people, sorry, the light is really bad here, is, even though I have this light, maybe I got it on the wrong side. Hang on. Because there we go, that I think is a little bit better. So, and this is a new app on my camera, on my computer now, so I don't have to reset the color or anything. But anyway, some of you, might just say, you know what, all the headaches I've had in relationships, I am done with it. I really, really don't want to be in a relationship. And you might end up going a different route, like saying, screw it, I'm just going to go with a friends with benefits, or, a one-night stand type of relationships. Or, there's three options. The way I look at it is, or, I'm tired of the opposite sex, because every relationship I've been into I've had issues. So, hang on, I do have to pause this really quick. I don't know, this might be a little bit better. Anyway, you might think, hey, you know what? Maybe, if you're a guy, maybe you're thinking, hey, I know this guy, I know he's always liked me, and maybe I'll just go that route. Or maybe you're a girl and you decided, I do know some girls that are, into girls. Like, I don't know, they got different names. I'm not dykes or lesbians or whatever, how you want to word that. And you might think that is the route that you want to go. So, now I'm going to back up a little bit. Now, if you're a guy and you totally are so tired of, going with a girl and, maybe they're complaining a lot, or maybe they're emotional, maybe they're lazy, nitpicking, after your money. I'm just naming all these things I can think of for females. Name calling, maybe they're verbally abusive to you, or maybe they have gone through a lot of abuse themselves and they need help, and you just don't know how to help them, or they're unfaithful, they're, lying to you all the time, or playing head games, or, the list can go on and on and on. Or ladies, maybe, he's a womanizer, abusive, into drugs or alcohol, maybe has porn addiction or gambling addictions, where you don't trust him, where he's playing head games. The list can go on and on, can it? So we all have different things that we've experienced through our past relationships with, different kinds of relationships, whether you're a guy or a girl. And I'm just naming the things off the bat of what I can think of as far as problems in relationships, and like they're just a few of them. There's many of them, so those are just a few of them that I can think of, with both different sexes as far as male and female, of different problems that you could have. And I didn't label them all because I'd be here an awful long time trying to list everything, what kind of relationship problem you could have had with any exes or the one that you're with now. So with that, a lot of times is what happens in the first place is that, like Starlight never had good taste. I really cared a lot about people, and a lot of times women will try to want to fix the guy. Have you ever been there? Is to, hang on, something's just not right. I don't have the color here. Ooh. Babe. So I should not even say that. But anyway, is so like I said, the list can go on, and you might not be able to pick out the right one, or don't know how to pick out the right one. And when I've gone on the dating apps, is what I was learning every single time is really, are you reading my profile? I really took time on my profile on a dating app and really shown them my interest, and Starlight's not searching right now. It's funny, it's not funny, it's horrible, so where I've had men, on dating apps that would reach out to me and say different things or ask me different questions, and if they only would read my profile, those answers were in my profile. And I put those out there because I never wanted to waste anybody's time, just like I wouldn't want them to waste my time. So when it comes to dating apps, there's a lot of times, I'd have to pick on guys on this area, because men are more likely to go for a woman just because the outside appearance. They might not really care too much of what she's interested in and see if you got anything in common. It's like, wow, you're a pretty girl, and girls, ladies, you might, not all women are like this, but you might be more concerned about, like what kind of job he has. Is he going to be able to take care of you in that way? And, like, how does he dress? Does he dress sharp? Is he taking good care of himself? Where we really need to back things up a little bit is, as far as picking out the right one. But when you get done with a relationship, do you, like, hurry up and try to get another one set up while you're breaking up with the one? When you decide, hey, I'm going to break up with her. Sorry about that. I actually have to, that's a reminder, is to, Starlight, turn your phone up. Yeah, sorry. Hang on. There. So anyway, so a lot of people, that's where they goof up, is they want to end one relationship and jump right into another one, get one already set up, so then when they get done with one, they can hook up with another one. A lot of times they really don't want to have that time alone with themselves, or there's some issues where they got used to certain things in a certain relationship that they were in, and they want to continue that, like the romance, in that last relationship where, I don't want to really pick on men, but, it could be in the men department on that area where they just really, depending on how old you are, is that you want that romance still going. But, and women, a lot of times they want to be close to a man, to have somebody to comfort them and to feel safe, to have some company. And of course they want to have that romantic stuff too. But, you really need to take time and heal, from your last previous relationship before you ever jump into another one. And that's where a lot of times people fail in relationships, because like I was mentioning in my last video, it's like, when you were in a toxic relationship going through a lot of stuff, and then you decided that, hey, this isn't working, we got to split up. One or the other is going to be more likely to want to break up with the one, or you might have where both really do want to break up, and you both come to that conclusion that this is not working out. And however that worked out for you in your last relationship, where you were the one that decided, you know what, I can't deal with her anymore. I tried. Did you try first? You always want to try first. And if you are the one that is always doing all the work and they are not, and you communication is the key, and being honest is a good, foundation that you want a relationship on, and if they're not being honest with you, really, I would end that really quick. And, that there's times that people are so dishonest is that you just never can believe anything they say. And with that, those type of people that are really dishonest with you in the first place, they lie to their parents, or they lie to everybody, they lie to you, and then you find out they're lying to you, is that you got to be careful with those types, because they're going to be more likely the ones that are going to cheat on you, because that goes hand in hand with each other. So anyway, if you already broke up with somebody, and you do, you really do want a relationship, but you're afraid. You're like, man, how many times, and it is so important, like, especially when you have kids, to be really, really thoughtful of what you're doing. Yeah, I said kids, because it's not just about you and the guy anymore, or the guy and the girl anymore. You got kids, if he's got kids and you got kids, you really got to be extra careful of how you do things, and, to be an example of, teaching your kids the right way about doing stuff as far as relationships go, where a lot of people, when it comes to couples and, being parents, they forget all about the kids. They're so much into, getting to know each other, and, a lot of times people are, might be teasing each other a little bit, like getting each other interested in having some foreplay or whatever, and those emotions get carried away, and then you kind of put your kids on the back burner, and before you know it, one thing leads to another. Now things are happening quicker than you really want them to happen, and you really got to slow down in that department, because now, then it's almost like you feel like you have to continue in this relationship, because you already, did that. You already had sex with that person. So it's harder to back out of a relationship when you already went that far. You already gave that energy away. That is so precious energy that you gave away, like that sexual energy that you have. So, and, that's why you have to be really careful about giving yourself away like that, whether you're a guy or a girl. So when you have kids, it's so vitally important, really, 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 really to slow down, and without kids, slow down. But really, you need to work on yourself first. Spend some time alone. Heal from that last relationship. Don't, jump right into another relationship. Starlight learned that a long time ago, and I'd rather be single and not stressed out, especially if a man is, of course I don't date women, if a guy doesn't have any tendencies to work on himself or better himself, and he just wants to, not do anything with his life, maybe sit around on the couch and watch football, or gamble his life away, or, you know, go out to the bars, or go out hunting all the time, or watch football all winter long, or whatever, however long that lasts, you know, where you got to really know what you desire in a person, but you really need to take that time off and really work on yourself and seek counseling, seek therapy or whatever, to kind of learn from the lesson that you had in that previous lesson, relationship, plus the lessons that you learned in your other relationships. So I have to say, when I became a Christian, I really slowed down in my life as far as relationships go. So, and I do have to throw this in, I kind of did this on my other video that I made, is some of you might say, wow, you know, like I've been with this girl for 20 years. And some of you might be, you know, maybe you only lasted a year in a relationship, and it might not even have anything to do with sex. So it does, you know, what I goofed up on my last video is when I was talking about it, I realized, wait a minute, I got to change this up. So it really doesn't matter what I was realizing. How long, you know, what's your longest relationship? Just got a number? Well, Starlight's longest relationship is 6 years. And I have to say, 6 years of hell. So with that 6 years is, I was miserable right from the beginning. Everything went downhill. And I really didn't take enough time to get to know that person. And with that situation there is, I learned a very valuable lesson, is really to, you know, to really get to know someone and to slow down. And I was single 5 years before that, though. That's the whole thing. I was single. I did not even see anybody, not have sex, not kiss or nothing. I kept myself clean, you know, for 5 years before that. You know, so it wasn't like I had relationships before that. I stayed to myself for 5 years. So, and then some of you might say, hey, I've been with a girl or a guy, you know, like 20 years. And, you know, I hear a lot of couples that will say, you know, on their anniversary, they'll say, you know, they'll brag about, you know, they'll go out and they'll let people know, hey, it's my anniversary today. And people will be like, or on Facebook, I see this all the time on Facebook, where somebody will say, hey, you know, we don't know how this happened, but we've been, you know, together for 25 years. It's our anniversary, you know, and a lot of people will put out on there, congratulations. You know, you'll get a whole bunch of people will say, congratulations. But what kind of relationship was that? What kind of marriage was that? So it really doesn't matter. You could have 20 years of hell, and you're going around saying, hey, we lasted 25 years. But did you just waste 25 years? So that's what I goofed up on my last video. I was saying, well, on dating apps, I was noticing, you know, I really thought it was a red flag if I seen a guy and I would say, hey, what is your longest relationship? How many years? And then when he replied and said 1 year, I was thinking, uh-oh, red flag. But you know what? As I continue to talk in my video, I realized, you know, that's not so bad, actually, now that I think about it, is 1 year. You might think, oh, that's horrible. He only lasted a year in a relationship. Well, what girl was he with? You know, and how old was he? You know, was he mature enough? Did he know what he was doing in that 1 year? You know, so just because somebody says they were married 20 years, were they happy? And I'm not saying that you're not going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your ups and downs. But are you happy in the 20 years? Do you, you know, like, would you, here's a question. If you know, energy never dies, you know, energy lives forever, you know, so your energy, your soul or spirit or whatever, you know, when you pass away or when you end life here, it continues. So say if the next time you were back here on Earth, that person that you were married to for 20 years, would you remarry that person all over again? Did you love them that much that you would remarry them? That is a great question. So if you say no, then it wasn't really a good 20 years, was it? You know, it could have been hell. So, so you don't really want to pay too much attention to those kind of things with couples when they brag about how many years. You ought to say, hey, were you happy? You know, was he faithful? Were you faithful? You know, because it really, that could really put, you know, a big problem in a relationship if they were not faithful. Sorry about that. So it is so important, you know, like there's definitely a lot of couples out there that were not faithful, and, you know, the rest of their relationship was really rocky the whole entire time, because they couldn't trust that person any longer. Whoops, sorry. So, so anyway, it doesn't really matter on that, and I want you to know, though, it's so important is to understand the reason why those relationships that you were in it didn't work out is because there's things that you got to work on. And that's where, you know, people know that they got issues, you know, they know, and that's why they want to take a different route by maybe having friends with benefits or one-night stands and say, you know, and blame it on the other person and say it's all of them. But it could be a mixture of both. You know, because we all have areas that we need to work on as far as relationships go. I have not arrived. I have areas. I'm not going to tell you my areas of where I need to work on, but I do know a few areas that I need to work on. And, you know, I'm working on one right now. There's something that I'm ending, something that no longer serves me. I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of acting a little childish about that. So I really do. I need to end that problem, that thing that I have been doing for a while now. And I'm like, you know what, you're not gonna control me anymore. I'm gonna let you go. So there's times that we need to work on ourselves. That way, you know, instead of jumping right into another relationship, why don't you work on yourself and get prepared? Find out by watching different videos on YouTube or whatever, and or study somewhere on the internet to learn, you know, things, how you can be a better person for that person, be that change, you know, that you want to see in the world, and work on yourself. You know, there's so many areas that we all can work on ourselves to be that change, to so we can have a healthy relationship. You know, and that's why a lot of men or women might go to churches, because they're thinking that, hey, if I go to church, you know, obvious, you know, hey, if I go to church, I'll find a Christian, and that will solve all the problems. And that doesn't always solve. Sometimes, you know, Starlight went that route, and that backfired quickly on me. I thought, hey, you know, he's a Christian. I can't go wrong there. You know, but there's false Christians out there proclaiming that they are Christians, but they are wolves in sheep's clothing. So you do have to really be careful of that. They can pretend that they are a Christian and make it look good on the outside, in front of the church, in front of the congregation, in front of the other Christians that go to, in front of the brothers and sisters in church. But, you know, then you find out he's a devil at home. So, so you do have to be careful out there as far as who you're going to get involved with. But really, don't give up on relationships. And, you know, some of you, you know, and I do know that this happens to a lot of people out in the world, and it's getting worse, is that, you know, there's a lot of people that go get in relationships where it's, you know, girls go with girls and guys go with guys, you know, and I'm not here to judge any of you, you know, it's between you and God. But guess what? You know, you think you had it rough going, like with me, see if I was going to go with a girl. You know, screw it, you know, guys are all jerks, I'm just going to go with a girl. Guess what? You're going to still have problems. You know why? Because the girl is not going to be perfect, and she's going to have flaws, and she's going to have things that she's carrying from past relationships. And, you know, you're going to find out that, I made the wrong mistake here. Now I put myself out there. You know, I went through a lot to get in that situation. I was attacked. I was called names, you know, because I went a different route. And then you find out you're in the same freaking boat you just came out of. You know, and so you're still miserable. It's just that we all need to work on ourselves. You know, we need to take time out of our life, you know, and away from people, and spend some time alone. Find out who you really are before you go out, you know, and try to find another person to go out with, because really it's so important. I am sorry about the light here on this, you know, my webcam. I just uploaded this, so I'm so sorry, because I know my face is not glowing like it normally would. I can't really get the light right in here. But anyway, as far as going like with the same sex, is you're going to end up dealing with different situations. But now, you know, like if you mess up in that relationship, you know, then you're going to get picked on, because look at where you put yourself. Now you're embarrassed because now it's like it didn't work out, and you didn't really get anywhere, you know. And I'm not saying those don't work out, but you know, it's really up to you on what sex you go with, whether female or male. But you know, wouldn't it be great if you got with, you know, the opposite sex, of course, the way God intended it, you know, because it was for Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. So with that is, you know, to make babies. That was the whole part of all of that, is to make babies and to be fruitful and multiply. So with that is hang on, I'm thinking where I wanted to go, is wouldn't it be great, you know, that you did work on yourself and slowly get to know someone, really ask a lot of questions. And I got other videos on my YouTube of, you know, the how to, you know, like find out the one, you know, like the kind of relationship that you're looking for is, and I don't want to go through all that because it would take too long to explain all those things. But wouldn't it be great that you work on yourself and you find someone that you resonate with, and you know, where God blesses you with that person, and when you get younger in life, you know, that you have somebody there to support you. So when you are getting younger in the years, you know, is that when you fall, you have somebody there to help you up. You don't want that type of person in your life later on in life, when, you know, when you are getting up in years and you need some support and some help, you know, because you don't want to do that all on your own, living by yourself. You know, and a lot of people fear that, is to be by themselves when they get up in years. So it is so important that you really do. You take some time out and work on yourself and your flaws. And not that you're going to be perfect, you know, and really find someone that you resonate with, somebody that is going to work on themselves and try to be the best version that they can be, or be that change that they want to see in the world. You don't really want to go with somebody that is going out to the bar and going out to parties, because all that leads to problems. And the music is not really good, and it does, you know, get people to do a lot of other things. You know, it could get them to, you know, like, you know, have sex with other women or other men. You know, it can cause them to get into drugs, all that stuff, you know. And so you really want to get with somebody that is really thinking, you know, of working on themselves and, you know, staying healthy, so later on when they do get older in years, that their health is going to be better than it would if they weren't eating correctly, if they weren't exercising. Because I do know many people in my area where they didn't exercise and now they can barely walk. I did know a guy a long time ago, he was 70 or 80 years old, and he died like a day before I was going to visit him. He was an alcoholic, he was into drugs, and he took blood pressure medicine, you know, and he didn't go out and exercise like he should have, because he was so involved with drinking, you know, alcohol every single day. You know, it was part of his breakfast and lunch and dinner, you know, and he threw his life away, you know. So he did pass away, and he, you know, and what does he, you know, what can he say? What can anybody say about his life? Well, you know, that guy was an alcoholic, you know, he liked to party and listen to music the whole time. Yeah, that's it. You know, so you really want to get with somebody that is going to help you to build a future together, and that is taking good care of themselves and, you know, their loved ones, like their kids, if their kids are around, and if they're, depending on how old they are, somebody that's a great example to their kids, and that would be a great husband or a great father, or, you know, or a great mother or a great wife. You know, you really got to really think of why did you pick out the women that you picked out, or why did you pick out the men. You know, maybe you need to revisit that a little bit. And, you know, like a lot of people, they get involved with people because they are thinking about how they can keep their families happy by saying, hey, look at him, he's a good-looking guy, or hey, look at her, you know, I can impress my friends because she's a hot chick, she's got a nice ass, or, you know, he's got a lot of money, you know, and look at the beautiful clothes he wears, you know, and that shouldn't be all why you get with him or her. You know, it's got to be about what is going on the inside. You know, so I've heard some beautiful love stories where a man actually fell in love with a lady, and she wasn't his type, but, you know, maybe she wasn't exercising or wasn't eating right, you know, but he fell in love with her because she had a beautiful heart. It had nothing to do with the outward appearance. So again, I am so sorry about my, I do have to work on this. I just reinstalled my my app for my camera here, but the lighting is really off. So anyway, thank you for watching this video, even though the color is off, the light is off, and I've moved my camera, I've sat in different positions, and right now outside it's snowing right now. I'll just show you really quick. I'll just take the camera really quick and I'll give you a view. I'm going to get a close-up of Starlight here. But I'll show you really quick. So it's snowing out there. So sorry about that. Is Starlight really sorry about that? No, I'm not really. But it was worse earlier than what it's doing now. But anyway, I do love you. I hope you really get a lot of help from this. Is really to slow down and really don't you know, say, hey, I'm giving up on relationships, please. You know, you're going to regret it later on in your life when you find yourself alone, you know, and there's women out there, there's men out there that would love to be with you, you know, but you really got to work on yourself and find out who you really are, and spend some quality time, you know. And you know, a lot of people like, you know, they don't want to go through that time because they might miss that snuggling in the bed, or, you know, different things, like going out in places, you know, with a certain somebody, a certain someone out there. Sorry about that. But really, you know, if you take time out and be patient with yourself and find out who you are, you know, good things come to those who wait. You know, they say, and that is so true. You know, it doesn't happen overnight, but if you work on yourself and then you never know where that special girl or special guy, you can always ask the universe to help you to work on yourself, and the archangels to help you work on yourself, find ways to, you know, to improve your life and your health, you know, maybe, you know, to start eating better or going out and exercising, so, you know, you can be strong later on when you get older in years. So anyway, I do love you. I'm sorry, I just can't help but to look at the snow falling. And if you really want to be the change that you want to see in the world, you can give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you could leave a message down below, beep, 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 and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget the notification bell, ding, ding, ding. And you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I do love all of you, and I am so sorry I didn't adjust the camera. It's just the way it was set up when I installed it yesterday, so maybe I need to do something, or maybe it's the light here. But thank you so much if you stayed through this whole video. So anyway, I do love you, and this is Starlight. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.